Today is Friday, September 29th, 2023, and we are out at York Pond Trailhead, which we normally use to do Cabot, but today we're going to use it to do Waumbek. We're going to go to the junction of Bunnell Notch Trail, but continue on York Pond down to the intersection with Kilkenny Range and take it over the Weeks. So there's going to be North Weeks, which I think is also just Weeks, Middle Weeks, and South Weeks, and then Waumbek, and then we'll come back. So it's going to be almost 16 miles, I think, today, and around 4,000 feet of gain. We just junctioned onto the Kilkenny Ridge Trail. It was about 2.4 miles to get here on York Pond, which is a pretty nice trail. This is new section of trail for us. So far, it's looking pretty good. They have a Kilkenny Ridge trail running race that just happened a couple weeks ago. So I expect that it will be sort of brushed out and clear. Ordinarily, there's not a lot of traffic on this section, and it can be quite overgrown, have lots of blowdowns, but because we're following up the race, I think we'll be benefiting from that. It's pretty so far. We are approaching the summit of North Weeks, and this section is all ferns with a whole bunch of beds in them, like small moose, big moose, deer. We've seen moose prints, large and small, and deer prints up here.
The barracks.
Huh?
The barracks.
The barracks. And earlier on, when we were down in like the spruce that was pretty thick, we startled two grouse that were right next to the trail. Man, that really gets your heart rate going. They take off and they are so loud. But in any case, this is Kilkenny Ridge heading up to the summit of Weeks. This is the wooded in summit of North Weeks or Mount Weeks. It's on the New England 100 highest. The summit cairn is not really a cairn. There's no marker that I can see. If you go back behind this fallen tree, there's actually a pretty nice campsite out there. Yeah. So it's weird because it looks like everything up here is fern, but out there's like a 15 by 20 thing of grass. It's so bizarre. Anyway, this is Mount Weeks. So we're going to continue on. Next thing will be Middle Weeks, which is on the New Hampshire 100 highest. We're up on Middle Weeks now. There's no summit marker, no cairn, and really no discernible high point because it's kind of flat. So on the map says that like right there, I think, is the spot, but whatever. Okay. That was Middle Weeks. It was a much easier climb to get to that than to get to Weeks. That was a lot of climbing for a non-4,000 footer. Okay, so next thing is South Weeks. This is looking back at Weeks and Middle Weeks, which are, oh, there goes a raven. Middle Weeks is like a half a mile away from us, maybe. And the smoke today is just, there's a raven. Crazy. It's worse than yesterday, for sure. It's the worst I can remember ever being down here. There's a constant stench in the air of like chemical wildfire smoke. It's terrible. Look at that blaze, looks brand new. That's crazy. So we saw essentially no blazes. We saw one blaze on York Pond Trail, an old one. And then we saw an old one like 3 miles later on Kilkenny. But now they're coming more often. but they're all old. That one isn't. It's weird. And they're all too short. Oh, that one's a little bit higher. But nobody's out here in the winter anyway. Only really diehards and moose. Okay, we're heading up to South Weeks Summit, which has a summit spur. It's a viewless peak though, but we'll go up there. This is the summit of South Weeks, and it actually has a cairn. It's on a little spur path that is in the White Mountain Guide, but it has been brushed out at the end, maybe because they had the race and they didn't want people to take it accidentally. I don't know. But when you're coming from Middle Weeks, you come through here. It's quite tight. That area could use more brushing, but it has recently been brushed. And then this is all like filled in so people won't go out to the spur, but I think this tree was just a lucky happenstance that it fell there. Okay, so we're gonna keep going. Next thing is Waumbek, where we will probably not have any views except to Pliny. That should be it. Oh wait, here's a spur path. Maybe.
That's the way to get back. The path.
Oh, it looped.
Came back on here.
Okay.
But you don't trace if you do that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't show up on any of my maps, the spur, so I don't know where it is, and it doesn't have a sign. So maybe that's the way they want you to go instead of the other way, and that's why it's brushed in. Could be. Oops. Okay. So, haven't seen any other people. Don't expect to see anybody unless we happen upon someone at the summit of Waumbek, or possibly at the very end, the last 0.2 of a mile, people coming off a Cabot, but that's it. Not going to see anybody out here today. We heard a moose off to the side, but it was not moving towards us. Tons and tons and tons of moose prints. And droppings. We made it up to the summit, which is treed in, and this is our lunch. Well, this is the view. We ate lunch down here, which doesn't really have a view anyway, but as you can see, you can't see the presidentials. The smoke is incredibly thick. This is Pliny Mountain, which is very close to us, and it's just nasty. It's nasty. I could feel it burning my eyes. You can feel it in your lungs. It's not good. So, anyway, what was good about as we came up to this viewpoint from down here, we startled 2 spruce grouse, and then we went up to the summit and we came back. We startled one of them again. So they're just hanging out right in this area. And that's it. We saw 2 hikers. Talked to one of them, just at the summit though. Yep. Very, very quiet day. Well, we finished at 5 o'clock, a little bit before 5. It took 8 hours and 10 minutes, and my watch registered 16.1 miles, I think, 1-2 miles. John recorded on Gaia, and I think it was slightly under 16 for him. And it's raining now, lightly, but it rained for about the last 3.5 miles, which was okay, actually. I was hoping that maybe we would get a moose to actually come out because they wouldn't hear us coming, but no such luck. In any case, successful day. Didn't really see anybody.